I felt like the Lord had prompted me to share my full testimony about my struggles with porn and masturbation, like through my time of like middle school and high school and stuff, and even into like my freshman year of college. Like that was like something that I'd struggled with for quite a long time. And like it wasn't really like it's hard to say that it was an addiction because like it was so inconsistent, and it really only flared up like when something was really hard in my life. It became like a coping mechanism, which is just really unfortunate and really sad. But I think like the Lord had really begun to do a lot of work in me, and bring a lot of freedom into my life when I started sharing that part of my testimony. And so when I had shared it the first time with Hannah and Caroline, I was like, wow, like I feel a lot of freedom from this area of my life just by sharing it with people, which is literally biblical. Like in the Bible, it says that. But then it's like the Lord took it one step further and was like, okay, when you go home for Christmas break, you should share it with your mom, and you should share it with your friends that are closest to you that have known you the longest. And I was like, oh wow, that's really scary. But like I did it because I felt like there was like this burning in my heart of like people need to know this like part of my testimony, because I know for a fact that there are other girls specifically that struggle with this, because in culture, like I feel like it's really normalized for guys to struggle with it, and like people talk about it like a lot and stuff, but it's like it's not normal or not normalized in our culture that girls also struggle with it. And so I felt like the Lord had kept like bringing people to mind and prompting me to share it with people. And so then when I came back to Judson's that second semester, like at the revival, I felt like the Lord had prompted me to share that part of my testimony like in those like 24 hours and stuff. And I was like, okay, so like that was the first time I had shared it in front of like a room full of people. And like that was honestly life-changing, because like I felt like everyone in the room, like everyone was like sharing like small testimonies of like the ways that the Lord was like working. And everyone was talking about like, oh, like freedom from like depression and like freedom from anxiety and like suicide and like all these things. But there's like one specific topic that nobody was touching on, and it was that specific topic. And I felt like the Lord was like, that's you, like you need to share that. And so that's when I shared it. And like then there's like a few other people that had like shared that they had also struggled with that. Yeah. And so that was crazy, because like I felt like the Lord had really used like my testimony and like the thing that I had hid the longest in my life, and brought freedom to not only myself but to other people in the room. And like that is when I was like, oh my gosh, like this has a huge impact on people whether I realize it or not. And like it's not like a shameful thing, because the Lord has fully redeemed and restored that area of my life and has brought in so much freedom to it. And it's like, why not